50,000 Persians and Romans were dead. What is this? Khaled's like, okay, I'm alive. That's a surprise. And so what he does is he orders his men back to Hira. So what he does is he says, okay, I need to arrive at Hira. I need to show up on top at the front of my army, but I've got to now go to Mecca to do this Hajj. So he takes his fastest horses and his best men, and they race across the desert as fast as they can. They get to Mecca. He puts on a hood so that nobody will see his face. He quickly does the Hajj. He jumps back on a horse and he rides as fast as he can. He gets to the front of his army just as it's arriving at Hira, and he assumes the position as if he was there the whole time, and he marches his men into the city. And a few days later, a messenger arrives from Mecca, sent by Abu Bakr, the Caliph, and it said, "You were spotted in Mecca. Don't do that again." Abu Bakr then orders him to invade Syria. So he's going to basically miss Dura. He's going to go south of Dura, and he's heading towards Damascus. That's his goal, is to capture Damascus. Because the Muslim Arabs are thinking if they capture Damascus, they'll get Jerusalem in the aftermath, because the Romans there'll be an Arab army north of the Roman army, and they won't be able to maintain their supply lines, so they'll just simply retreat. And that's how they'll capture Jerusalem. Khaled takes his men across this really nasty chunk of desert in a logistical feat that would be hard to replicate with a contemporary army today. He just takes his men through a spot that has no water and no food, and he gets them across. They show up in Syria, they come up to Damascus, and he captures the city. At that point, Emperor Heraclius is tearing his hair out, trying to figure out what to do, because all of this is a shock and a surprise. Nobody ever thought the Arabs were a threat. Where is this even coming from? So Heraclius goes to Antioch, which is on that map as Antiocheia, but it's Antioch. And they had renamed it Theopolis, which is City of God. And he shows up, and he's hunkered down in there, and he gets together his generals, and he decides to launch a counterattack. And what Heraclius' idea is, you send 4 Roman armies, and you catch the 4 Muslim Arab armies in 4 separate locations, and you take them out piecemeal. Heraclius does not want to ever have a situation where he's bringing all 4 of his armies together, because he doesn't have the economy to support having that many men in one location. There's just too few people. The infrastructure has fallen apart. Word reaches the Muslims that there are these 4 armies now coming towards them. The commander of the 4 armies is a guy named Abu Ubaidah. Abu Ubaidah was told that he was in command, and Khaled was relieved of command. He could still be a general, but he would not be the guy in charge. And the reason is because the new Caliph, Abu Bakr, only lived 2 years as Caliph. He's dead. He's replaced by a guy named Umar ibn al-Khattab. The new Caliph is Khaled's first cousin, and he doesn't trust Khaled. He thinks Khaled has political ambitions. And so he's worried that if people like him too much because he's too amazing, he'll eventually try to become the new Caliph, and he'll do a political coup. So he demotes Khaled. But so Abu Ubaidah orders the Arab armies to head over towards where it says Al-Jabiyah. The problem is the Hassanids keep attacking them from behind. And so the Muslims try to figure out what to do. They decide to hold a conference. And then what they do is they ask an interesting question. Abu Ubaidah does, the commander. And the question he asks is, would you guys rather have Khaled in charge or me? And everybody looks at him like, you know, we feel guilty saying this, but yeah, Khaled. And he goes, me too. I would like to propose that we promote Khaled to being in command unofficially, because I'll be officially in command. But unofficially, he'll be in charge. And everybody votes yes. And so he takes command of the army, even though he can't, because he's been demoted.